HBCU graduations remain significantly low compared to predominantly white institutions. Welcome back. I am Brittany Rosemond. African American enrollment in colleges are at an all-time high, yet their graduation rates display incredibly low numbers. David Harris, admissions counselor at Tennessee State University, claims the low graduation rates compared to local university Vanderbilt are because of two things.
Contributing factors in this low rate, one is a lot of first-generation college students, and second are different admission standards that we have as opposed to Vanderbilt.
He also says another reason could be the areas and backgrounds the students come from, which gives them less preparation for college. Gabriel Kincaid, an African-American college student, tells his story about how he went to college and why he thinks women have a higher graduation rate.
I went to Eastern Michigan University. I graduated in 2009. Eastern Michigan University is not an HBCU. I didn't choose a HBCU because originally I wanted to go to St. John's University in Queens. Then I applied to Mississippi Valley, Wayne State University, and Eastern Michigan University. So once I didn't get into St. John's University, I was kind of disappointed. And a couple of my friends were going to Eastern Michigan University, so I decided to go to Eastern Michigan University. If I had a chance to do it all over again, I would have went to an HBCU just because of being around like-minded, motivated black individuals. I feel like that would have been a positive influence on me and a good time. The reason why I feel like that a lot of the times women have a higher graduation rate than males is because for some reason women have the ability to be able to go to a party, have fun, have a good time, but then wake up that next day, type a paper, and hit class and still go to class. Us guys, we'll go to the party, get totally wasted, and won't wake up until 5 o'clock that next day, and not even care about the class. I feel as if that black males sometimes don't have the support that we need in college, or we feel that if we go to a counselor or if we get tutoring or anything like that, we feel as if we don't match up or we don't meet expectations. So sometimes we avoid getting counselors and things like that to help us to get through college. It's hard. It's already hard out here for males, black males especially, just the different type of struggles that we have growing up, being perceived as lazy individuals, being perceived as troublemakers, and sometimes that bad vibe, that bad energy follows us to college and we don't end up making it through.
TSU student Alexandria Sparks concurs with David Harris about less selective admissions being the main problem.
I think a contributing factor is sometimes the admission standards, because HBCUs were founded upon, they didn't really want to turn anybody down, they wanted to offer everyone an education, and so our generation has kind of changed that stereotype a little bit because our grades are a little low, but our motivation is low as well. And so when we get in college, we're just kind of here by force. Maybe sometimes our parents forced us here, we don't have anything else to do, and I think that contributes to the low graduation rate.
She also talks about the obstacles she faces in college.
Knowing that I am a minority and I have to work twice as hard and I have to be better than my competition, men and women, black and white. I'm a black female, so that's a double minority against me from the beginning, so that's what motivates me.
Do you feel women aren't facing the same obstacles in college as men are?
I think we're facing a few more obstacles because, like I said, we are the minority and we have another strike against us because we're black women, so we have to work a little bit harder to be taken more seriously. Men in general are taken a little bit more seriously, but black men in general, they have their own types of stereotypes and barriers they have to break down too, so it's kind of two different things.
TSU professor Tommy Boris shares his thoughts on the low graduation rates.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that a lot of students come here kind of unprepared to do college level work. I mean, we do ask a lot of students because this is a university, and I think they get here, and this is not just an HBCU problem, I don't think, but I think a lot of them get to a college campus and they realize this is a lot of work, and they get overwhelmed, and they get used to being away from home, and they kind of have to deal with everything by themselves, and I think it kind of overwhelms a few people, and they realize I'm drowning, so they kind of just disappear, or they stop coming to class, they don't drop the class, and then they wind up with an F, which is terrible.
Professor Boris also shares the trends he sees in failing students during an interview.
I have noticed an alarming disinterest in coming on time. I usually have to wait 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes for half the class to show up. By then, we're halfway through. So they miss a lot. Even when they're in class, they've already missed half of it. So it's almost like not being here. And that's a huge problem here anyway.
Have you taught at any other college?
I've taught at 6 other universities.
Okay. And why did you decide to teach at an HBCU?
Truthfully, I thought it'd be a really good experience. You know, being a white man in a black person's world has been a really good experience. I have to be honest. I will say that I think if more white faculty and students came to an HBCU and realized that it's not different at all than any other university, I think we'd have a different attitude about life in general. And I really mean that.
Tina Reed, the coordinator for professional development and employee relations, shares her feelings about the students at Tennessee State finishing.
Really great students who attend this school. I think if those rates are true, it just may be apathetic. We have student apathy. We have that a lot. And sometimes students have financial issues that may keep them from continuing, as opposed to other schools where they may have their parent support or family member support. But our students, like I said, they're really good students. Just some of them, they may not have the same financial situations and circumstances that other students may have at a larger or more prominent.
TSU student Latifa Spurlock shares the reason she came to an HBCU and her experiences with other students while being here.
I wanted to go to an HBCU to get the experience, for one, of the struggle with making it with your own culture. Because it's one thing to go to a predominantly white school and, everyone is just for themselves. But it's another thing to come to an HBCU and actually be in the struggle with each other, trying to make it out.
She also shares the obstacles students at the university face.
I believe in some way, I'm going to contradict myself, I believe in some way that we all are facing the same obstacles when it comes to waking up in the morning, going to class, doing this and doing that. I feel like everyone at this point is equal. But as far as the men, I would also say they do have it harder because they are black men. It's harder for them because they have their own statistic, whereas they're supposed to be in jail, they're supposed to be dead. So when people see them, they still have to push a little harder than we do because women are out here making it more.
Tina Reed shares more thoughts she has on students at TSU.
Well, I think, for starters, black men in general just have a little bit more pressure on them in terms of family, friends, education, maybe not enough mentors, family background. I always relate things back to the family because I think that's the root where we start. I can tell you that the black men in my family, I've seen some digression in some areas where the parents aren't doing what they need to do, and then I see progression where the parents are doing what they're supposed to do. So it takes a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot, and it's consistent and being persistent. So, like I said, I just bring it back to the family, the upbringing, and those types of things.
Robert Frost once said, "College is a refuge from hasty judgment." I am Brittany Rosemond. You are listening to Tennessee Matters for the Tennessee Radio Network.
Now, following the aristocrat of bands, we have the